Hey, how you doing? Justin here with another Albert King lick, and this one's a really tasty minor pentatonic based little lick. Really nice, kind of a call and response feel to it, even though he's playing a different kind of a lick. It's a very often copied kind of phrase as well. So let's get to a close-up, check out how to play it. Okay, so let's look at this in two sections. So the first section, 3rd finger, 10th fret of the 2nd string, then 1st finger in the 8th fret of the thinner string, 3rd finger, 10th fret, and then a tone bend from the 10th fret. Okay, so it should be making this sound. Okay, that's the first half, and starts on the and after 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. The second half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so the second half is 2 more bends at the 10th fret on the thinner string. And then we've got 8th fret on the thinner string, 10th fret on the 2nd string, twice. So the whole lick, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The space between those two phrases is one of the key things in this lick, so really making sure you got this 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, it's really, that gap's really important. It allows it to breathe, and there's some, I'm not exactly sure how it's working, but those two licks are somehow connected with each other. 3, 4, 1. It's just a perfect little lick to steal, this one, and stealing the space as well, not just the actual notes themselves. You know, make sure you steal the space. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, actually I'm going to pause again there. That bend. Okay, you've got to make sure it's in tune. But when you listen to Albert King bend, it's not usually like a big straight real quick one. It's got a little bit of kind of slightly slower than normal. Something really nice about it. Remember that Albert King had his thinnest string at the top, so when he did bends he was pulling the strings down. He's famous for doing massive bends, but this lick doesn't need a big one, but I'm sure that changes the way that he would play it in a normal kind of a way. So make sure you're aware of that when you're listening to him play and you're trying to copy him. And then the second part, they're pretty quick bends. Making sure that you're muting in between, but we'll talk about that in a second. And again, really nice, fast. Usually the first note's not got vibrato, actually. Would normally be that. So 8, 10, and then the second time, there's a little gap there. A little mute again, it's not. That sounds weird. You want there with the gap, then play it. One. Okay, for this lick I'm using pretty much all downstrokes again. And remember that we're muting there after the bend. Mute with the picking hand before you release it, otherwise you're going to get this kind of seagulls. We don't want that. And again here. So you want the bend, mute, bend, mute. And there's another mute there. Mute. 3, 4, 1. I'm kind of exaggerating it there, but it's really important that you're getting that hand muting the strings when you don't want the sound. These kind of licks are really good for trying to catch those little subtle elements that really make the blues licks stand out. It's not just the playing the right notes that's really important. Again, it's really important that you're listening to Albert King, and you start to pick up some of his, it's kind of like his time feel, the way he's playing over the beat, where he places the notes, how loud, how quiet, how the bends are. Because if I'm just writing down, if you read in a book or from a tab or even watching my lesson, and you'll hear a bend or see that it's a bend, but it's not the whole story. There's more to it than that. It's how fast the bend is, how long it takes to reach the actual pitch, how long it's held for before the bend starts, how long it's held for once we've reached the target note, and how much vibrato is on the target note. All of that stuff's not written down. The best way to learn that stuff is by listening. And again, just listening to Albert King alone, putting it on in the car and having it all, it's the only thing you listen to for a week, you'll really start to absorb those subtle things, even without properly transcribing, but just by really intensely listening to it. It's a really, really good idea. Of course, in the car, it's not that intense, but that's a general absorption. I do recommend actually sitting down and really concentrating on listening to a guitar player play as well, if you really want to pick up those finer points. You know, it's a big deal to have nothing else going on except really focusing on listening. Don't try and play along and try and copy it yet. Just really listen and see if you can get inside what's going on, because it's really important that you kind of get those little subtle accents in the words that make them sound authentic. So have fun with that lick, and I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.